Hi everyone and welcome to the Inflation TikTok. So today we're gonna do a reaction video about the housing crisis in Australia. This video is the craziest video that you will ever find on the internet. Alright, you better buckle up. Let's go.
Know any people who are saving to buy a house because it's just not realistic. It's just not possible.
During semester, what I'm earning is less than what my rent is.
Every 6 months when we'd re-sign the lease, they'd put the prices up like $50.
I was living in sharing an apartment before with just like a mate, and then our rent went through the roof, so I moved to a bigger share house now.
To even get a deposit, you'd have to not be renting.
Me and all my friends can kind of agree it's a bit of a scramble to find a place every time a lease is ending or you have to move on. Very, very stressful finding a room, and it's very competitive.
I don't think that, just having access to a room is really good enough. Like, people should be able to find housing and homes that are comfortable for them.
Here are some of the comments we got about the video. We are all late 20s, 30s sharing rooms. Then they wonder why we are having less kids. Damn, that's tough right there, bro. I knew it was tough, but not this much, man. Here's another one. It's low-key so depressing that this is happening worldwide. Yeah, you're right, bro. Like, we have USA, Canada, UK, now Australia. Bro, it sounds crazy, but I think it might get worse than this, bro. You better be ready.
What sort of government is it that can't guarantee a cent, a single cent, for public and affordable housing, but can guarantee $254 billion for everyone in this place to get $9,000 extra a year off on tax? They can guarantee $41 billion for fossil fuel subsidies. They can guarantee $16 billion in tax concessions for property investors, but they can't guarantee a cent for public and affordable housing in the middle of the worst housing crisis we have seen in generations. A Labor member over there just before told me to grow up. Grow up! And if you think that your strategy is to tell everyone in this country it's immature to think that in one of the wealthiest countries in the world we can't put a roof over everyone's head, if you think it's a strategy to call people immature because we think it's wrong that you're raising more money from charging interest on student debt than you are from raising taxes on gas corporations, if you think it's a good strategy to tell everyone in this country that it's immature to expect that while politicians in this place are about to get a $9,000 extra a year off on their tax, we think no one in this country should be forced to live on poverty payments. How dare you? How dare you? And the strategy that you resort to is lying to the Australian public. Now, if you're watching at home, here's the strategy that they're deploying. Here's the strategy they're deploying. They are trying to crush your hope. They are trying to crush your hope. What they are trying to do to you right now is to say this is all you can hope for. And if you hope for anything else, and if anyone comes out and says, you know what, when you can find $4.2 billion for a surplus, maybe we should be spending $5 billion a year on public and affordable housing, you'll get attacked for it.
Here's some of the comments we got about the first part. Can we make this guy as Prime Minister? I don't know, man, but I think y'all should try your best to make this guy as Prime Minister or as VP or like as President as possible, because I think this guy is amazing because he can see through the bullshit and tell you the truth as it is. You know what I'm saying? You should try your best. Let's go now for the second part.
They are trying to bash you down until there is nothing left for you to hope for. But you know what? The reality is that the reason they're doing it is not for technical or policy reasons. There's not actually any reason we couldn't tax big corporations and make sure we build enough public and affordable housing in this country. The private construction industry is in decline. We could be using those skills and construction materials to build public and affordable housing. We could be freezing rent increases, the same that countries around the world have done and Australia has done before. We could do that. But the reason they don't want to do it is because really they're on the side of the banks and property developers who make enormous profits in this country. Here's the deal. In this budget, they're guaranteeing money for property developers and tax concessions to build apartments that when Mirvac built them, Mirvac, by the way, the outgoing CEO of Mirvac, if you're wondering, is also the person they're appointing ahead of their National Supply and Affordability Council. What a sick joke. Anyway, they charged for those apartments 20% above market rent. Above market rent. Above market rent. Well, guess what? No one in this country is going to take that for much longer. And if you think your strategy is to yell and abuse and attack anyone who asks for more, if your strategy is that, and listen to that, you've got another thing coming, because there's enough people in this country now who are screwed over by a political system that snarls and attacks anyone who asks for more, while we've just seen the banks record tens of billions of dollars in profit. If anyone thinks that's normal, and if you're going to go around and call the Greens radicals for suggesting that in a wealthy country like this, the fact that the banks are making billions of dollars in profit while the government can't guarantee a cent for public and affordable housing is moderate, you've got an absolute another thing coming. The only radicals in this place are the ones who think doing that is sustainable. The only radicals in this place are the ones who think that it's okay to give yourselves $9,000 extra a year off on your tax while telling people they have to live on $52 a day. What a sick joke. We had someone come into our office, a woman who had just had her rent jacked up by $120 a week. $120 a week, and this person is on Centrelink payments, unemployed long term because of a debilitating heart condition, but unable to get on DSP. After rent, bills and food, he literally did not have the money to pay the $70 train trip to get home to be with her. When my team told him we'd transfer him $100 immediately so he could book the ticket straight away and buy some food for the trip, he broke down weeping. He spent 2 full days desperately pleading with Centrelink to give him an urgent payment. And you stand here and you think that it's good enough to give yourselves tax cuts while this is happening to people in this country. How dare you?
Here we have more comments about part 2. I thought this was a dream scene, but someone actually said what I've been thinking. This guy is a god, man. Yeah, that's why you have to vote for him if he's running. And I hope for y'all that he's running.
If you're planning to move to Australia, I believe it's important for you to know that Australia is in the middle of housing and cost of living crisis. I don't usually talk about this because it's really stressful, but I think it's important for you to know and consider this before you make any decision. The cost of goods are going up because of inflation, but what's hurting the most is the endless interest rate hikes. Whether you're paying a mortgage or rent, the interest rates went so high that people are paying more than $1,000 a month on their mortgage repayments or their rent. At the start of 2022, we were paying $3,600 a month, and now we're close to paying $5,000 each month on our mortgage repayments. And there's a lot of us who are on the same boat. Even landlords are unable to keep up that they need to increase their rental fees. Hearing stories of people who are now paying $300 more a week on their rent. $300 a week, that's $1,200 a month. God. Whilst some people are able to manage this crisis, some are unable to and are forced out of their property. I don't mean to stress or scare you. I'm just telling you the current situation. So before you go here, please do your research and secure your accommodation if you can. If you can stay with a friend or a family member, that would be good because it's very hard to find a rental property, especially near the city, and it's very expensive.
Here is some of the comments we got about the video. Australia and Canada have the same housing problem. Yeah, that's true, bro. Now it's like a worldwide problem. Here's another one. As a house owner, yes, the house rate is too much. Here's another one. I agree. Working as a loan processor in Australia, this is true. My comment on this video, I would say this topic is very, very important. And we should all pay attention because whether we like it or not, we are all impacted into this, bro. And I think we should talk about it more because at least the government's gonna listen to this and pay attention to make some change. Because I understand that we play a big role into this, but the government gotta play the part too.
My landlord is trying to increase my rent by $350 a week. When I received this email about a month ago now, we basically tried to negotiate with the landlord and real estate agent and just try and find a happy medium or a middle ground that wasn't as aggressive as $350 a week. Essentially, we were told this is not negotiable. Obviously, as a household, we freaked out. We had to sit down, talk about our limited options in this market. Because the real estate agent and landlord had said, we're not budging on this $350 a week figure, only then did we, after much deliberation, decide we're going to have to take this to tribunal if we want to stay living here. Quite a bit has happened since then. Not going to get into it in this video, but there's quite a bit to catch everyone up on. Anyway, basically, it was really, really stressful in the beginning. Like, no one wants to go down this path. We tried not to. But at this point, we are feeling really confident and really good about taking this to tribunal. So fingers bloody crossed.
Here is some of the comment about the video. That's absolutely insane. Pure greed. This is why we need rental cap in Australia. There is no protection for renter. Good on you for fighting it. Here's another one. In the US, California, there is a law to protect renter against this. $350 a month is a lot. $350 a week? Insanity. Good luck. Yeah, she need it, bro. When it comes down to my comment about the video, I don't know, man. Like, I would have done the same thing as her. Like, there is nothing different I would have done if I was her. Because this is absolutely crazy. Like $350 a week? Bro, ain't no way I'm gonna be able to live like that, man.
We are about 1 week away from our tribunal date, and I get this email from our real estate agent. It says, "Hi Chantel," and my roommate's name is whited out. "I hope you're both well. Tribunal is just around the corner and wanted to confirm we have negotiated with the landlord already, and he has agreed to drop $50 off the increased amount, which at tribunal will be seen as a good gesture by the landlord." We were given a $350 per week rent increase notice. Our landlord then offered to take $50 off that amount after saying previously that that amount was non-negotiable. Then the real estate agent goes on to say, "Can you please confirm, as mentioned previously, it is going to be the exact same thing at tribunal, whether we negotiate here or negotiate in a room there without the travel and waiting time there." And I respond, "Hi X, apologies, I have been unwell. We really appreciate the landlord's willingness to negotiate. Is a $600 per fortnight increase, which is 31.58%, the only option we will be able to achieve outside of tribunal?" So obviously we appreciate that they're willing to negotiate now, even though it took tribunal to get us there. However, we're still looking at over 30%. Then I also ask, "Can you also confirm when the handyman will be returning to finish off the repairs?" As you would have seen in the other videos, the handyman had come to look at the repairs and started working on the repairs. However, he then had to go to surgery, which I'm a human, I get it. However, at this point, we are 1 week away from tribunal, and there are other times in our tenancy where we've been led to believe that things were going to get fixed, only for them to not get fixed. So in my mind, I'm like, I think the tribunal date needs to stay just in case we pull, and then these repairs never get solved. Also, if you're really wanting to avoid tribunal, I'm sure that there are other people that can look at the repairs while he goes into surgery. As usual, going to run out of time. This email does continue. I'm sorry, so annoying.
This was part 2 of the previous video, so now we're gonna go through some of the comments. "I'm rooting for the landlord because you made it part 2. Nice. Do not settle. They know the tribunal is going to roast them, and what that real estate is saying is so unprofessional." Yeah, that's true. "I think she should print this email and bring them to court. Let the judge see how the real estate agent is calling them a waste of time." You know what I'm saying? What do you guys think?
I guess I'm just a little,
Yeah, let me tell you, if you've been struggling in this here rental crisis like I have since at least June, so what's that, 5 months of house hunting with absolutely no luck? 2 weeks ago, I hit up the Rent Fairy. Sarah is her real name, but hit up the Rent Fairy, and within 2 weeks, I've just picked up the keys to my new place. They were such a godsend. It's up to you, whatever you need them to help you with. If you need them to browse for listings for you so you don't have to trawl through all the websites yourself. If you need them to go to inspections on your behalf, they'll do that. If you work full-time, can't make it yourself, or if you're moving interstate, I'm pretty sure the Rent Fairy is in cities all around Australia, so they can go to inspections on your behalf, do the applications for you. Literally every place I applied for on my own, I got rejected for, and then I don't know what magic they worked, but as soon as I handed the reins over to the Rent Fairy, here I am.
Here is some of the comment that we got about the video. "I just signed a 12-month lease at the place that I don't like, simply because of the rent crisis." Here's another one. "I literally just emailed them because of your TikTok. Congratulations on your new place. I hope you enjoy it." When it comes down to my comment about the video, I would say, bro, that's crazy that this kind of service exists. Like, you have to pay someone to find you a place and pay an exorbitant, like a crazy amount of money every month just to live, bro? That's crazy, bro. What you think about this, man? Comment down below.
A Sydney real estate agent has been accused of being insensitive this week for making all 100 people who showed up to the inspection play an intense game of rock, paper and scissors to win the property. The agent in question, Tom Moore, has defended himself by stating that it's simply a more efficient way to choose tenants and that he can't be bothered going through the hundreds of applications he gets every day. With Sydney facing the brunt of the rental crisis in Australia, it's likely more agents will employ these sorts of tactics, which is at least a bit more preferable than rental bidding.
Basically, I've lived in my rental for the last 6 years. The house that I live in now is part of the NRAS scheme. Well, it was when I first started renting it. So they keep rent affordable for low-income owners. The house was recently sold and the new owners didn't want to go ahead with the same low income scheme, so they've chosen to increase the rent from $300, which is what I'm paying now, to $630 a week. I obviously can't afford to pay that. I feel so fucking stupid doing this shit. I'm a single parent. Been contacting my real estate agent, trying to find somewhere else to go. My lease is up on the 1st of January and applying for houses, and I've been getting rejected for all of them. There was another rental available that was also part of the NRAS scheme. If you transfer from one NRAS property to another, it doesn't count as an existing tenant, so I'm a new tenant and there's different income limits. In my last email to the real estate agent, I think I said something along the lines of, I told her I have been applying for houses. I've been getting rejected for all of them. We're facing homelessness from the end of the lease because I can't afford to pay the $630. And her response to that was that if I don't vacate the premises by the 1st of January, then the owners can take me to court. I work as a registered nurse at one of the hospitals in Perth. I have a permanent contract. I just don't know what I'm meant to do at this point. This is literally so embarrassing. I have somewhere for Levi to go from the end of the lease if we don't find anywhere in between now and then. We need to find somewhere for our cat and dog to go. Rent a storage unit to put all our stuff in. Anyway. If anyone has any suggestions, let me know. I've been sitting here for 20 minutes now, so I better go inside.
Here's some of the comments that we got about the video. It should be illegal to evict a tenant until they have somewhere else to move into. The housing in Australia is ridiculous. No one should be paying $600 a week to live in a house. When it comes down to my comment about the video, I would say it's hard. Everybody knows, 2 income is always better than 1 income. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, wish her the best. I wish her she finds someone in her city that can help her out and stuff. That's why I have this channel. If this channel was already monetized and was making a good amount of money, I would send her some money. You know what I'm saying?
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
So, to no one's surprise, our property manager has tried to keep our bond from us when we left the house, in spite of trying their best to not repair a single damn thing during the entire tenancy. And unfortunately for them, know our rights and are not fucking around. So just to be safe, we used their end of lease cleaners that they recommended because we knew that they would try and put something on us. And the cleaners somehow ended up causing serious damage to the staircase by pouring some sort of chemicals that ruined the varnish. Now, of course, the first thing we did was email property manager saying, hey, this wasn't us, it was them, and then praying that the cleaners would send us some before and after photos, which they did, thank God. So she doesn't reply to that email from us at all. 2 days later, we get the whole list of deductions that they're trying to take from our bond. And the first one, what is it? The cleaner's fucking damage. So they're trying to take it from our bond and then suggested, oh, we may be able to get a refund from the cleaners for their damage. We're like, no, that's not how it works. Next on the agenda is lights, and yes, normally that is the tenant's responsibility. However, when we moved in, majority of the lights were not working, and they promised us they will all be fixed before we move in. Of course, we move in, no fucking lights are working, including these, which is all in the condition report, and they still have the audacity to try and charge us despite how hard it was to try and get anything fixed. Don't get me started. Now let's talk about the floorboard damage. So when we moved in, all of the floors were severely scratched up and damaged. They promised that they would be polished before we move in. That did not happen, and they gaslighted us into telling us we never said that. So despite in their condition report them noting that all the floors were in perfect condition, they obviously hadn't updated the condition report since they first built the house. We noted serious damage, and then there's many emails of us being like, you said you were going to polish the floors. So then they have the audacity to try and fucking charge us for those scratches. Now, I don't know why I'm being a bit cynical, but I think that maybe part of their business strategy is to lie in the condition report and say everything's perfect, hope that we don't pick up on those things, or hoping that tenants don't potentially know their rights, and then at the end of the tenancy, they try and charge them for that. And then the ensuite toilet roll holder broken. The toilet roll holder never existed in the first place, and there's photos of that in the condition report that show there was no toilet roll holder. We had to buy one. So yeah, I'm just in shock. I don't know if they're just dumb, or they did read the condition report and they're just now trying their luck. So we of course reject all of these, and then they're like, no, the floors were extra damaged by you, it's not just wear and tear. And they're like, okay, well, just give us a quote, we can't really be able to take you to tribunal. And they try and charge us $1,200 for it. Now, if you're as petty as me when it comes to these things, you're gonna have to like for a part 2, because the outcome is very fun.
Thank you for watching this video, guys. So that's the end of the video. So if you like it, please like, subscribe, and let me know what you think down below. See you. Peace.